Phew. All right, folks. I need my coffee. Front Rock Coffee Company.
It's the best. I love it.
Oh, gosh. It's good stuff. That's tasty. That's some good stuff right there, folks. Some good stuff. Anyways, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to yet another episode. So today, we're in the bedroom. We're not out on the water. I'll show you a couple clips. It is currently ice storming out right now. There is like a quarter of an inch of ice everywhere. I went outside. I mean, roads are super bad. I went out this morning to get some stuff from the grocery store, and I had to drive in four-wheel drive the entire way to the store. It is insane. Their store's closed up. It is what it is. It's winter time here in Southwest Missouri. We haven't seen anything quite like this in a little while, though. I remember the bad ice storm back in when was that? Like 2014 or 2000, something like that. Something super bad. I remember when I was a kid that we lost power for like 2 weeks straight, and it was just insane. We had to go out and buy a generator, and there was people that didn't, it was crazy. People were stealing propane and kerosene from other people, and it was just a wreck. It was insane, folks. But luckily, we're not dealing with any of that today. It's just nasty. It's just cold. It's rainy. We're supposed to continue to get more snow. So the moral of that little story is it doesn't make for good fishing weather. I mean, you could be out there on the water if you were like super dedicated, but I'm just not quite that dedicated, folks. So instead of being out on the water, today we're inside. We're filming a video for you guys, and this is not a how-to video. This is not a fishing video. This is about fishing, but this is a video on if you're new to fishing and want to get started. This is my 3 tips for you on how to get started, what to do, the mindset you should have. Anyways, folks, let's jump right on into point number 1. So for my very first point today is equipment does not matter. And what I mean by equipment is your rod, your reels, your baits. So when you're getting started fishing, there's absolutely no need to go out and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on the best fishing equipment they make. All you need to do is just get out there, go fishing, enjoy nature. It's super easy, and I understand that, and I realize that, to hop on YouTube and look at other people's fishing equipment, fishing videos, and see that they have these $500, $600, $700 rod and reel setups, and they're out there fishing these big tournaments on their fancy boats with their fancy electronics, and or if you're kayak fishing, kayaks these days are insane. By the way, what is going on with kayak fishing? These things are like, I read a story the other day. Some guy spent like $30,000 on his kayak. That's freaking crazy, guys. $30,000 on a kayak just to go fishing. But anyways, guys, that is not what you have to do when you're first getting started. I remember, and I'm pretty sure it's this way with everybody, I caught my very first fish on a little bitty Walmart Zebco fishing pole, and I think that's probably the way that all of those famous fishermen and all these people you see in the, that's where they started. I mean, they didn't start with all these fancy rods and reels that they have. They worked their way up. They got to where they're at. They tournament fish, they travel, or they film like I do, and it's just, they didn't start there. So do not compare yourself to what they have. Just go out there and go fishing. You can spend $25, $30, maybe $35 at Walmart on a fishing pole, line, rod, and reel. There you go. Go fishing. Find a pond, find a creek, find a river, find a lake. Shore fish, it doesn't matter, but get outside and fish. That's my one tip. It's just to get outside. It doesn't matter the equipment that you're using. I hate it. It's my biggest pet peeve when I'm hearing these people talk about, oh, I don't have the right equipment, I don't have the right setup to go fishing, I'm not quite there yet. Or just go fishing, guys. Just go fishing. I know I'm guilty of this. If I watch a YouTube video and I see people with super nice equipment and whatnot, don't get me wrong, that makes me want to go out and spend my money on that same stuff as well. But it's not 100% necessary. And yes, once you get to that high level tournament angler, you know, if you're fishing, if you're doing these how-to tutorials on what to use, what not to use, you know, if you're to that level, if you've been doing this for years and years and years, then sure, spend a couple $100, get the stuff that you want. But when you're first getting started, equipment, dollar signs, none of that matters, folks. None of that matters. Just get outside and go fishing. So my second tip for everybody right now is to do your research. Doing your research is super important. So before I go fishing, I'm on Google Maps for a couple hours the night before. I mean, I'm looking at everything. Now this isn't 100% necessary, but it helps you out so much to know the lay of the land that you're going to be fishing. I mean, there could be, you know, they could be biting on steep rock banks, or they could be biting on flat pebble rock banks. You know, so do your research. Look this stuff up. I don't care where you're going fishing. It could be a river, a creek, a lake. No matter what, I almost guarantee, I can't promise you, but I almost guarantee you that there will be some type of fishing intel video on YouTube of that same body of water, or just another guy like me with the GoPro strapped to his chest out there fishing, trying to give some tutorials, you know, trying to get some tips here and there. So do your research, watch those videos. Don't get me wrong, you don't have to. I mean, you could go out and just make blind casts everywhere you go, you know, and that's fine too. Just like my first point, go fishing, do your thing, get out there. But it does help the experience if you do your research. You'll find those fish better, and it's even kind of cool. I get great satisfaction out of seeing it on the computer, looking it up, picking a spot, going to that spot, and seeing if there's fish there or not. I mean, to me, it's really, it makes me feel accomplished to do my research and get out there and then it all pay off. It adds to the experience a little bit. It's just something that everybody should do. It doesn't matter if it's just a little pond. I mean, ponds these days have all types of different. You could have standing timber in a pond. You could have rock banks. You could have shade. You could have docks. I mean, do your research and look it up wherever you're at. Like I said, there will be a video on what type of fish and how they're fishing in that body of water. So do your research. Google Maps is your best friend. You never spend too much time on Google Maps. Look at other stuff up on YouTube. It's simple and it's fun, and like I said, I get great satisfaction out of doing my research than putting all the dots together out there on the water. I think it's a great time and it adds to the experience. And my third and final tip to you all, everybody watching this video, is celebrate the small victories. Every fish counts. Every fish counts. I cannot stress that enough. Going out on the boat, spending hours and hours and hours out there with no bites, then that one bite comes along, 14-inch bass comes along, and you catch it, and it's the only fish you catch that day. Celebrate that victory. That is not a loss. That is not a loss. That's a W in my mind. You just conquered that day. You figured that body of water out. You caught that fish. And I think that's something to celebrate. It really is. It doesn't matter if you're fishing ponds, lakes, creeks. How many? I feel like I've said that probably 15 times in this video. But it really doesn't matter. Wherever you're fishing, celebrate the small victories. If you went out and caught 3 or 4 fish compared to your buddy catching 15 fish, it doesn't matter. You caught those 3 or 4 fish on your own. You did your research. You went out. You got outside. You enjoyed nature. And celebrate the small victories. Celebrate the small victories, folks. Even if you did go out and get skunked, you were still out in nature enjoying the beautiful God's creations. You know, it's celebrate the small victories, because for one, it gives you extra motivation to go out the next time. And if you keep having a bad mindset towards those fishing trips, then eventually you burn out and you won't want to continue to fish at all. And I've been there. I mean, it's easy to do, especially where I'm from, out on Table Rock Lake, my home pond up here. It's a weird fishery. It can fish weird sometimes, and it changes day by day. One thing you do one day maybe won't work as good the next day, or won't work at all the next day, you know. So one tip to you guys, celebrate the small victories. If you're able to catch a fish that day rather than the next day, it's all part of the process. It's a learning process, you know. So you learn, what did you do right that day? What did you do wrong this day? And put those things together, and that's just a beautiful creation. And that's what fishing is all about. I mean, to be completely honest with you, if it was super easy, everybody would do it. This is not an easy sport to be in. There's many times I've spent so many hours on the boat just to not even catch one fish, and I could leave that day. I could go load my boat up, go home, and I could hang my head, and I could just be sad all night long, or because I got skunked, or I could, you know, think about it on the bright side. I was outside, I was enjoying nature. It was a beautiful day. Even if it's not a beautiful day, you're still outside enjoying nature, doing what you love to do. And it's something that a lot of people aren't able to do these days. So I think that people take that kind of stuff for granted. So just be outside, enjoy the small victories, celebrate the small victories, and just have fun, guys. That's really the main point of this whole thing, is just to have fun. Even when I'm fishing a tournament, I'm just trying to have fun. Every fish you catch, you guys have seen it. I know you've seen it if you watch my videos. Every fish I catch, I'm always so freaking jacked up every time. Doesn't matter if it's a small one or if it's a big one. I always get so many comments about, oh, why are you getting so worked up over that one small tiny fish? That fish means the world to me, because that catch was awesome. I'm going to remember it the rest of my life. It's all part of the process, and you have to think like that, or else, like I said, you'll get burnt out. You won't want to go anymore, because I'll be the first to tell you, every fishing trip is not going to be just a slam fest, just a freaking slug fest. It's not going to be that way. It's like hunting. If you went hunting, every single time you went out, you shot a world-class 200-inch buck. Well, that actually sounds kind of awesome. Yeah, I could actually go for that. That'd be pretty dope. But anyways, it just doesn't work out that way. And that's the same way with fishing. I don't know why people get this weird thought in their mind that these professional fishermen, these professional anglers, I'm not a professional by any means. I'm not comparing myself to that by any spectrum at all. I'm just saying, no, I don't have a slugfest every time I go out. Yes, it's a struggle sometimes, most of the time actually. So you just have to continue to tell yourself, this is part of the process. I'm learning from this. What can I do better next time? You got to keep that in your mind at all times, or else you will get burnt out. But anyways, folks, those are my 3 tips. If you're new to fishing and want to get started, or if you're in it and just kind of getting started, or if you've been in it forever and kind of in a little bit of a rut right now, those are my 3 tips to you. Always do your research, celebrate the small victories, and do not worry about your equipment, and do not compare yourself to other fishermen on YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook, because I know it's super easy to do. But just don't do it. Comparison in life in general, not just in fishing, it's just a bad thing. Never compare yourself. Always be happy where you're at right now. Get outside, go fishing with whatever equipment you have. If it's a hand-me-down, if it was given to you by your grandpa or your dad or your friend or your sister or your brother, go fishing. It literally does not matter. Go out, enjoy nature, celebrate each fish. Doesn't matter the size, regardless of what people say. Just get outside and go fishing, folks. That is my little speech for you guys, my little 3, if you're new to fishing, tips. If you liked today's video, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like. Do not forget to smash that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up, because it really helps me out, and I would appreciate that greatly. But anyways, folks, we'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Office update. Coming very soon too. We are coming right along. You remembered it from before. There was this nasty what did it look like? What was the wallpaper on here? What did it look like? Anyways, this is the office space area coming right along. I don't know, I'm thinking we should leave this chandelier. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think I was talking to? You think I was talking to sister? No, I'm not talking to sister.
Don't.
Office updates. Killing it.